Hello everyone, welcome to Achievers IAS classes. Let's begin our discussion on the current events of 27th August 2018. The first issue in news is an editorial regarding Odisha's proposal for a national policy on the establishment of legislative council in states. As of now, only 7 states in the country consist of such councils, the utility of which is questionable due to the lack of broad political consensus. Because if there was any real benefit in having a legislative council, all the states in the country would have had a second chamber and there would be political consensus on this issue. The process of creating a upper house in the state is lengthy, starting from the resolution passed from the state assembly to the subsequent enactment of a law by the parliament in order to create it. In this regard, two bills introduced in the Rajya Sabha in 2013 for establishing legislative councils in Assam and Rajasthan are still pending, indicating the lack of support for such a move. A parliamentary committee which looked into these bills cleared the proposals but had given a cautionary note, and it also wanted a national policy on having an upper house in a state legislature so that a subsequent government does not abolish it. It also favored review of the provisions in the law for the state councils which reserve seats for graduates and teachers. While it is advantageous that the upper house provides forum for academicians and intellectuals which is beneficial for the appraisal of a legislation, but the forum is likely to be used to accommodate party functionaries who fail to get elected rather than its lofty objective of getting intellectuals into the legislature. This is an unnecessary drain on the exchequer, and also, given the fact of dipping educational standards, questions arise on why should graduates be privileged as people's representatives in a democracy when state legislatures itself have several members with better educational backgrounds like doctors, teachers, etc. There is a differentiation, however, made in the case of Rajya Sabha as it represents the states rather than any electoral constituencies and also acts as a check against the dominance of elected majorities in legislative matters. In contrast, legislative councils are subject to varied and inconclusive discussions around their creation, revival, as well as abolishment. Given all this, Odisha's proposal may give the country an opportunity to evolve a national consensus on the utility of these legislative councils. On that note, let's move on to the next issue, which is regarding the intention of the government to make it mandatory for unlisted firms to issue new shares as well as issuance of bonus shares and stock split to be done only in the demat form in an effort to fight the black money menace. Besides this, the unlisted corporate entities would also have to ensure that the shares are transferred only in demat or electronic form. The regulatory requirements are expected to be effective from the first week of October, covering more than 70,000 public companies. The proposal would help in enhancing transparency in the ownership of corporates, curb Benami transactions, and also bolster the efforts to weed out shell companies. The move would also strengthen the Know Your Client framework and prevent instances of pledging of duplicate shares. In this regard, the Corporate Affairs Ministry has held discussions with the depositories as well as registrars to keep the costs for conversion of shares from physical form to dematerialized form to a minimum level to facilitate the whole process. What is to be remembered here is, at present, listed companies need to have shares in the electronic form, but it is not mandatory, which the government intends to change. The next issue in news is regarding the strategic partnership model. Under the strategic partnership model, Indian private companies will tie up with global original equipment manufacturers and build major defense platforms in India under the technology transfer route. The move is significant because so far it was only the defense public sector undertakings which were preferred for such projects, and the strategic partnership policy is intended to promote greater Indian private sector participation in defense manufacturing. In this regard, the Defense Ministry is expected to release the project-specific implementation guidelines for naval utility helicopters to be procured under the strategic partnership model, which would lay emphasis on the transfer of technology and high absorption of indigenous content. Apart from these helicopters, the projects to be processed under the SP model are fighter aircrafts, P-75 submarines, and armored vehicles. While this is a welcome initiative, the defense public sector utilities, which already have large infrastructure present with them, should not be ignored and must be utilized for both the benefit of the country as well as from a business perspective. The final issue in news today is regarding the G20 Digital Economy ministerial meeting, which was recently held in Argentina, which was attended by several ministers, senior officials, as well as international organizations like the European Union, International Telecommunication Union, etc. The forum deliberated upon efforts to create conditions that help governments, private sector, as well as the civil society to maximize the benefits and at the same time confront the challenges posed by technological progress. It also focused on digital inclusion with a particular emphasis on gender divide and the policies required which will contribute in bridging all forms of digital divide. The participating countries also agreed to promote digital government and digital infrastructure and share experience and lessons learned with other countries. The G20 ministerial meeting not only allowed India to showcase the inclusive use of digital technology by the government, but also articulate its views on global issues related to cybersecurity, data protection, and innovation for growth. On that note, I'm wrapping up today's news analysis. Do like, share, and comment to support this initiative. Thank you for watching. Have a nice day.